Do not attempt to adjust your programming. You are now listening to B-Movies and Beyond.
Us.
Pew.
Pew,
It is
pew.
us, still.
Yeah. Pew, pew.
Another hiatus. No more hiatus.
We're back from hiatus. Da-na-na. Welcome in, one and all, to episode 350. Man, Ryan, we are so close to hitting that 365 mark. We gotta do something big. Maybe we need to do 24-hour marathon.
Maybe that's our first live streaming episode. 24 hours straight of us just surfing the internet.
Dude, I think I've come close once to staying awake for 24 hours straight, but I don't know if I actually completed that. So, and I definitely don't think I can do it now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I cannot do that now. Before this recording, I know we got notes early. Things were like, I knew I had to record. We had to record, but before I was just like, I could go for a nap. I could sleep. I can.
I don't think. Do you still call them naps after a certain time of the day?
Dude, that's a great quick question. At what point in the day is your nap not a nap?
Yeah, but I guess if I wake up, I guess that's a nap, huh? I think that's the thing we gotta figure out, but we need Evan here. No, we already know Evan's answer. It would just be like anytime he falls asleep is a nap, basically.
A nap is a nap.
Yeah. So I don't know. I know for me though, like at this time, like 8:30, I'm probably just going to bed. I'm not waking up.
Yeah,
That's not a nap.
If I hit 8:30, it's bedtime. I think my cutoff point is like maybe 3 or 4 o'clock. If I have that opportunity, because you work during the day. So when you get home and if you're tired at like 4 or 5 when you're done with work, is that a nap? I think it's just ruining your sleep.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, if we do a 24-hour streamathon, then maybe we'll test that. How much Red Bull and cocaine will we have?
All of them, because we gotta stay awake. Unless we factor in like you take some naps and I take some naps, and maybe that's how we get through.
Can we still have it where we record the other person napping,
like,
and then it's just
to the side?
It's just a free for all. Like that's when we have guests like Nikki could join and be like, "All right, guys, have fun talking," and I'll just take a nap.
Yeah.
And wake up and be like, "Oh."
The other thing that I think will happen is, I'm sure the drinks will be flowing, and sometimes I have too many drinks and then I can't really host anymore. So that leads into the nap part. Where I'm like, all right, I gotta cool it, guys.
I gotta nap. Speaking of long things going on, man, last weekend was packed, wasn't it? It was so packed we didn't even record.
I know, dude.
All the way from July 2nd to Monday has been just non-stoppery.
It sure has.
I think you and the crew did a little bit more than me. I did a lot going on. I had a lot going on, but 4th of July was fantastic for my side. It seemed like it was good for your side, and you made it to a little thing called Fan Expo. Tell us more, Peter.
Yeah, in Denver they had Fan Expo, and it was quite the treat. But man, it is exhausting. And this is the crazy thing. They're doing it again next year. Is that it was from July 4th through 8th through the 8th. So Thursday through Sunday, basically every single day was 10 to 7, except for Sunday, which was only 10 to 5, which, so those 2 hours. But let me tell you that the 2 hours, man, I was like, I am so happy this weekend is over. I mean, I love it. It's a blast, but at the same time, it is so exhausting. And and by the end of it, I know me and Danielle were both like, okay, we're ready just to go home and just crash. And that is what we did. That is what we did. I think we're still recovering from it. Like the house hasn't been cleaned in a week. We're still getting back to normal. But it was amazing. And if I knew how to log into things, I would show you pictures. Huh. You have your Facebook saved on our web browser. I can log in your account whenever I want, Ryan.
Oh no! Well, good thing I don't use it that much. You still got to know my password.
No, it's in there. I see it's dots, but it's saved.
Oh, I've changed it plenty of times since then.
You sure it's not saved anymore?
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. I don't care. Get on there. Whatever.
Oh, all right.
You're just gonna have to deal with people from Facebook Marketplace. That's all you got to deal with.
No, man, trying to buy your shit.
While you look that up, 4th of July was fun. Denver did a drone show, which was awesome. They had Lucifer. Lucifer was my favorite. Drones are a good way to go. I mean, drones with fireworks is the better way to go, which some places in the US was able to do. They strap fireworks on drones. Awesome. That's what I need in my life.
Did they explode?
No, they just did the little like they're flying away. And then went to we have a soccer team. Did you know that?
Yeah, the Rapids.
We went to the Rapids Stadium and watched their fireworks show. And then went downtown. Jeremy had an art show going on and watched the Rockies fireworks. So I got a lot of fireworks going on this last weekend. And then I decided to find an entire pool day where I just laid out in the pool all day long. So while you guys are at Comic-Con, I love Comic-Con. This year was a little bit overwhelmed. I mean, Fan Expo. It was a lot for me because I know how hard everyone goes every single day. And I was like, I'm gonna take a break this year, and next year I'm gonna come back stronger. That was my theory on it. And I had other reasons, but I'm glad you guys went. I'm glad you guys got some good pictures. Did you get them popped up?
I do. I have them. I had to go to my wife's page here.
During Comic-Con, happy birthday, Nikki.
Yes. Pictures from Fan Expo that I would like to share right here. There we go. You see that? That's my lovely wife and Evan.
Which one's the lovely wife?
Oh, I thought about making that joke, but we did Disney princesses one day. That's what Nikki wanted to do for
demanded.
Her birthday. Demanded. There's my little girl and her little.
Oh, I bet she was in heaven.
That's a princess. Yeah, there's Nikki. This creepy lady in the background. Here we all are. All in our whatchamacallit, princess costumes. And and then Nikki's husband Nate, he was Elsa and I was Anna.
Oh
yeah. So there we are again.
Who is Raiden in the corner?
That's Raya, and that's Nikki's husband Nate's brother, Ben.
Nikki's husband's Nate's brother know that his belt is way too long?
It is just kind of sticking out there. Oh man. Here's Princess Bride, which this was a fun one where Danielle and I dressed up as Miracle Max and Valerie.
Ooh, that looks good.
Dude, that was such a pain. Which, by the way, I learned how to sew. So I sewed a lot of this costume and even some of Danielle's, and I made that satchel that you can see in the picture there. I made that.
Wait a minute, you put effort to sew?
Dude, I know, man. Yeah, It was crazy. We put so much effort into this, trying to make like old people makeup, and I wore that prosthetic nose, his hair. It was so much work, so much, but it was great. It was a good one. Oh, there we are. Hi, goodbye. And then lastly, we did some X-Men, where I was Gambit and Danielle was Rogue. And there we all are. Yeah, Evan was Beast. Got the blue makeup and everything, dude. We were pretty good. Pretty good.
He looks like a good beast. Where'd you get the Gambit costume?
Spirit Halloween.
Oh, is there X? Oh my gosh, that's why fucking Spirit is open in June.
It was online
for Comic-Con.
So, I guess. But yes, it was a fantastic time. Very tiring, but so worth it. Can't wait to do it again.
Break any more props?
When did I break props before?
Oh, just look on your right-hand shoulder.
Right. Oh, that table?
No, behind you.
No.
Look behind you. So look to your right, and then it's in that middle shelf right there.
Oh, the back cuffs. I was wondering about them. We never saw them this year. So yeah, if everyone remembers from last time we were at Comic-Con, we broke some back cuffs that we bought for $115, and literally they just stay in the box there. You can't even see them. So
take them out of the box, Peter. Use them for nighttime or something. What?
Not very good cuffs. They're just not good cuffs. But
well, obviously,
it was fantastic.
You broke them the first time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, because of all that, though, I really did not get to see any fireworks. I was just tired all weekend. I didn't go to the pool. So, I just feel like either they need to incorporate some of these things. Like, dude, it would have been awesome if there's like fireworks after Comic-Con. Like, I mean, I guess we could have went somewhere, but if it was just part of the event. Also, hey, Fan Expo, add a pool. I think that'd be really refreshing.
Add a pool. Could you imagine swimming in a pool with hundreds of thousands of pop culture nerds?
Could I imagine that? Yes, and we'd all be dressed up with our, it'd be like what was that? Dead or Alive beach volleyball. I think we'd dress up like them.
Dead or Alive Fan Expo edition. Oh my gosh,
that's right.
I would go as Black Noir. And you know what? I thought about it. This year would have been the perfect year to do The Boys.
Yeah, they went. They had like all these like cosplay meetups, and that was The Boys was one of them. Star Wars, DC. Yeah, there was some, not as good as when we did it. When like that's the best thing about attending as a group and having a group theme is that no one does that. You always had like one-offs here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the most I saw was I saw some Average Joes, from Dodgeball.
That's easy. That's a t-shirt.
Yeah. So they did that group. Saw a bunch of inflatable dinosaurs.
Okay.
And a lot of people, yeah. What's that Pokemon character? The girl with the yellow short and the short shorts.
Togepi?
Sure. A lot of guys dressing up like her. It was weird.
Oh, I'm playing. It was Misty. What?
Oh, okay.
Guys?
Yeah, just like a whole group. I think there were some girls, but they all were them, wearing the exact same thing. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. There was one guy who stood out who was fantastic. This heavier set guy, I guess. But he wore the Slave Leia costume one day. Then he went and wore the Fifth Element girl, one of her sexy outfits, and then a really sexy Starlight outfit. And then I didn't see him on the last day, so I don't know what he did or if he was even there. But
He was probably naked, and they kicked him out.
probably, yeah, it was hilarious, and I applauded that guy for doing a sexy outfit every single day. Yeah, hands down, that was he probably did the best cosplay. Let's just put it that way.
He won. Did you meet any celebrities?
I don't do that. I don't believe in paying to meet anybody. But my wife did. And I think Nikki and Nate did too. I think Nikki and Nate met some supernatural people, and
Nerds.
my wife paid to go get a picture with Rainn Wilson from The Office.
I bet that
So-
dude made so much money this weekend.
He
Like
probably
everybody
did. He was
knows
only-
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah. It we went to his panel. It was pretty cool. He's a pretty cool guy.
Like, dude,
But yeah, I mean, dude, can you imagine? Like he's like, yeah, I got picked up at 4 a.m., flew to Denver, came to the con, started signing stuff, get paid, and then you like fly out probably Sunday evening, after the event's over, and he's done, and you just probably made bank. So
yeah, they're almost $100 a pop. Like they have a range between what 60, 80, 100, 150. If you average that out, Jesus, dude, he made money.
Brie Larson was there.
Yeah.
And I think her most expensive thing was like $225.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, to like meet her and get something signed, and like maybe like it was like personalized though. So $225. And like I could not even see her. There's just so many people in her area. So
how many people do you think made it to the con this weekend? Do you think like 10,000 a day?
Probably.
Dude, if that's 30,000 people, let's just say 5% of that times 5%. So if it's 1,500 people, just say 1,500 people went up to Brie Larson at 225. She just made $337,000 just in 4 days. And that's the low end. She probably made more, dude.
Probably.
More than 1,500 people went to see Larson.
Yeah. So
she probably made $1 million.
I just did a Google search, and it said 100,000 people came over the four big days. Is that for this year?
25,000 per day. Holy
yeah,
shit.
pretty much. Which, and it's weird. Like it was definitely packed like all 4 days, but it was definitely, I felt like more so on Friday and Saturday. So like it was pretty crazy, and they already had their dates up for next year for 2025, July 3rd through the 6th this time.
I want to know how that works with celebrities. Like, do they just go and assume that they're going to get that full payment from people, or does Fan Expo pay them to show up and take a percentage of what they get in commissions? Because, dude, if Brie Larson walked away with $1.5 million in 4 days, yes, that's awesome.
Dude, I think that she probably keeps all that. That's my guess. I think just showing up and all these people, these volunteers, right?
Mhm.
They're not paid. They're volunteering.
Yeah. I'd have been like, Brie, give me a Subway sandwich, bitch.
Yeah, man, 100,000 though people. That's crazy. And I agree. It felt like a lot. So
we need to get that here next year. B Movies and Beyond. Just $25 for us to sign something,
dude. It still upsets me because we tried getting the podcast thing there, but they stopped doing that. The only people that are allowed are like the real film whatever, which lame. They had like a panel. We could do it.
Yeah.
We could do it. I wish we can You know what? We need more merchandise so that we just get in there and sell merchandise and also promote our podcast. That's what we do.
Okay.
So
Things to work on in the next 15 episodes.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad you had fun. You and the wifey were a great Gambit and Rogue, and
Thank you.
Evan was a fantastic beast. He looks exactly like Kelsey Grammer, and yeah. Oh,
Aaron
was a good
very,
bishop.
Yeah, and Nate was a good Cyclops. Everyone was really good.
I noticed in one of those photos, Nikki's going to be upset, but her Miss Marvel dress started ripping at the seam.
I don't know. Maybe she had pockets. I don't know.
Those don't look like pockets.
But yeah, she was Jean Grey, and then Ben was Havoc. So let's get into our quick question, huh?
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
What? How? Why? I have so many questions!
So, Ryan.
Yes.
I had this last week, but I didn't do it. But I was in the car the other day driving around, and Linkin Park came on the radio. And it was the one from Transformers, the original one. What I've done, right? You remember that?
What I've done. Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, I was just jamming out, and it got me, man. Like, I was like, oh shit, I want to go watch Transformers now for some reason because of this song. So my question is, has that happened to you? Do you have a song that makes you want to go watch that movie, or just even you can tweak it a little bit and that just reminds you of a specific movie every single time?
For me, it's
yeah,
and it's not typically on the radio. It was at the time, maybe, but I think it was Sandstorm for Blade. No, not Sandstorm. It was the Blade song. It was like that techno song, and every time I'm like, I have to go watch Blade. You know what song I'm talking about?
Know. I think so. Like when he's at the club.
The Blade Club song. Is that the name of it?
Maybe. Where's the edge of the blade? Can we play these? How does this work? I know what you're talking about, though. So, are you playing something? Are you looking it up?
I'm looking, but you know the song. Apparently, B Movies and Beyond doesn't pay for YouTube Premium.
No, we do not.
Which, why not? That is a write-off. Allow. Here we go, Peter. Ready? Just a little snippet.
Okay, go. Yeah.
That song. Okay, that's enough.
That same Vampire Dance Club, Vampire Blade Club.
I don't even know if it has a real name. I just know that's the song. Oh, dude, this one's easy. Bad Boys.
Oh, Bad Boys, Bad Boys.
It got to the point where, like, I forgot that was the theme song for Cops, the TV show. I thought it was for the movie. They did a really good job making it for Bad Boys, the movie.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
So Linkin Park got you thinking, huh?
It was Linkin Park. And then it also just made me think, because they did one. Didn't they pretty much just do one for like every single like Transformers movie, basically?
Yeah, they contracted them.
Yeah, sure. That was just nuts. It also it makes me remember when MI2, Mission Impossible 2 came out, and Metallica did their first ever song for a movie. You remember that shit?
Dude, you went Metallica? Mine was Limp
Yes.
Bizkit. Because
Oh,
they did the
for,
Mission Impossible
Gothica?
2. No, they did the Mission
Oh,
Impossible 2 theme song.
I forgot about that. Yes, they did. Dude, did they just get a whole bunch of rock bands to do songs for that movie? I
Yeah.
mean, it kind of seems like it.
And the other
Wow.
one was End of Days. I've never watched that movie, but I know that soundtrack.
Wow, I kind of want to get that soundtrack now.
Oh, dude, that was a
Like, that
prime
just sounds.
soundtrack era. Like, movies had cool soundtracks that you wanted to buy on CD. With me, it was Mortal
True.
Kombat. Then it was End of Days. Then it
Yeah.
was Mission Impossible. Then I was like, I was in, and like Linkin Park with Transformers towards the end. Fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The soundtrack now is like, it's like a daily play for me. Yeah, Peter, now that you said it, dude, Mission Impossible, Limp Bizkit, Take a Look Around. That's probably the one that just makes me want to watch that movie. Any other time, I don't want to watch it, but like I hear that, I'm like, shit, I gotta see Tom Cruise have a crotch rocket duel with some doves with his long hair.
Oh man, dude, I totally forgot about the whole Limp Bizkit one because they all had like music videos too.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
and that was peak Limp Bizkit too.
Dude, that was, yeah, that would peak everything like that. I cannot believe now that I think about it, just like they had a Mission Impossible video, Metallica did. Man, they did so much marketing on that film.
Can we just say that Mission Impossible 2 is probably the best one?
Maybe it was a big departure from the first one, which I really liked. And then I feel like the third one is when they started to go into the, kind of more what they're doing now.
Yeah.
So, here it is. Oh yeah.
Even had a song it wasn't just Mission Impossible theme song. It was just Wes Borland playing this riff. How long can we get away with this?
I think as long as we talk over, it's fine.
Oh yeah, no.
We don't need to like that.
Yeah.
We did it. We're ready to move on to our trailers because we got a shit ton.
I know this is a late one, but I miss you.
Here are some exciting coming attractions from
B-movies and beyond.
All right, Ryan.
We got a lot of trailers.
Yeah, I only put down one was Gladiator 2. That's all I thought came out in the last 2 weeks.
Well, dude,
but you proved me wrong.
Oh, you know what else had a really big soundtrack that we're always forgetting about?
What's that one?
The Matrix.
Oh yeah, that one was big.
Oh, Wake Up by Rage Against the Machine. Yeah.
Dude, it's kind of weird now because I just feel like a lot of like the soundtracks are just, it's inspired by, like the soundtracks like, this kind of song just makes me think of this movie, so we're gonna put it on the soundtrack.
So let's start with that one. Childish Gambino, Bando, Stone, and the New World. This looks like a cool movie, but then when you were watching it, you're like, this is a music video. And I was confused.
Well, okay. Before I said anything, I never watched it, so I just jumped to conclusions because it had the template, like, right? It was the artist's name, Childish Gambino,
not Donald Glover.
And then this title, I was like, okay, I don't need to watch this. Why is this popping up everywhere? Like, I don't want to. I almost clicked on it because, like, all right, fine, let's see his music video. Yeah, no idea that it was the actual fucking movie that he has here called Bando, Stone, and the New World. Yeah, it looks pretty crazy.
And that's kind of the theme of all these trailers is they're all kind of crazy. Like,
yeah, a little
like
bit.
Agatha is next, Agatha all along. Like, that looks like a pretty crazy series coming out.
Oh, here we go. Well, it's directed by Donald Glover for Bando, Stone in the New World. So this is like kind of him like all over this thing.
Well, yeah, he's Childish Gambino.
Yes, I understand that. but it's not. It doesn't say Childish Gambino as the director. It says Donald Glover. Like, why? The only thing that has that is that he did the music for it. He's done the soundtrack.
Do you think he gets paid differently? Like Donald Glover's going to get paid for the movie, and Childish Gambino's going to get paid for the soundtrack?
Probably. That's probably why he did it that way.
Smart.
Whoa. These are two separate people.
2 different bank accounts. Got it. I like Donald Glover, and I like how he does some creative stuff. He's not crazy. He does creative stuff. And he's a damn good actor. Like he's Miles Morales' uncle. He's Uncle Aaron in the MCU. Yeah. Wasn't he in the last Spider-Man? He wasn't he? No, he was in Across the Universe. They showed him in there for a minute.
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah. I was assuming the other one. Anyway, going along with crazy, Agatha all along finally has a trailer. It's coming around Halloween, and she has a coven of witches, and it basically is showing how Agatha becomes like a witch, is what I'm gathering.
Kind of, or coming back to becoming a witch. Well, yeah. Because I guess how it kind of ended was she Scarlet Witch took all her powers, so it's trying to getting back those powers. So I'll say this, and this is kind of weird, is I don't know, this is kind of like the first trailer. Maybe that's going too far. I probably won't watch it. Never mind, I take it back. I thought at first, I was like, hey, I might watch this. Like, this actually kind of looks cool. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, I probably won't. I mean, I haven't watched Low-Key season 2, none of like all these extra Star Wars, which I mean, kind of hearing some good stuff about the so I'm kind of curious now. I'm being more and more curious.
It's back and forth. Like the general consensus is that it sucks.
I don't know, man. It for me lately. Acolyte?
Yeah.
Which one?
A lot of people say it sucks. Are we out of sync?
A lot of people are reviewing it still. Maybe.
I think we're out of sync. What's going on here? What's going on, Peter?
You're out of sync.
I might be. What's next? Jackpot looks fun. Aquafina, John Cena, their names rhyme, but she's coming back to be an actress, and she wins the jackpot in 2030. And apparently, whoever wins the jackpot, it's like the Purge. Anybody can kill them before sundown and take their money.
Nice.
Funny.
I like that.
And John Cena is supposed to be her protector. I like the premise. I would like that to happen. If I was like next to the jackpot winner, I would totally just kill him.
Yeah.
If it was legal.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes it a fun game, right?
Yeah. Sorry. Not sorry. Like, yeah,
dude. Cool. The only thing, I watched that trailer, and it's going to be on Amazon. And then they said, watch it now at the end of my trailer. At least that's what I read. And so I was like, no way this thing's already out. And I went to Amazon, and it is not out. So if you do happen to watch that trailer and you see it that says, watch now, they're fucking lying. So there you go. That's my announcement for that.
Now I need to rewatch that because I think I saw the same thing. And all right.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. But it's one that, I like these. I like these streaming services, I think, are getting better and better movies that are just exclusives to them. And that's a good thing, because it makes it more competitive. Now each one is going to be trying to do a better job. Like I hear, I have not watched it and I really want to, that the new Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley, is like fucking amazing and that they should have released it in the theaters. So super stoked to watch that.
I forgot that came out.
I know.
4th of July weekend.
It's just too much, man. It was too much. I could not watch it. I wish I had a couple hours to spare to sit down and do it, but I did not. So
maybe this week. Maybe.
Oh,
that's another song. The Beverly Hills Cop song. Dude, that's been Jade had a little toy that was playing that song, and I was like, where is that from? And sure enough, it was Beverly Hills Cop, and I started playing that, and she was singing it. So, moving on. Are we?
We're skipping some.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. You're skipping a lot of them. I guess we'll get to Afraid and Girl in the Pool next week. Girl in the Pool looks kind of cool because Freddie Prinze Jr. is married and has a mistress, and she dies in the pool, allegedly, like right before his surprise party, and everybody knows what he's doing, and he's trying to hide it, or maybe, but that's what the trailer makes it seem like. But he just stuffed her in like the towel bin.
It is really weird that he's trying to like hide this body. The biggest thing for me was that it's Freddie Prinze Jr. Like, talk about someone, like I just watched, I did Wing Commander not too long ago, and he was in it. That was like his heyday, and he's gone. He went and became a dad. And now that he's getting to do something new that's probably the most exciting part about this.
You know what Freddie Prinze Jr. has been up to?
Yeah, he's done a lot of voice work. I know that.
No, dude, he was like the head talent writer for WWE in the early to mid 2000s.
Oh yeah, so he was doing that. He was also doing some voice work. He also has a podcast. Like, the guy's like staying busy, but he just wasn't acting really.
What a smart guy. Just stay behind the scenes. And rumor has it he's trying to make his own wrestling federation. I'd watch it.
That's kind of cool.
Maybe him and David Arquette can do something together.
What the fuck? He did a voice in Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, apparently.
Was he? Oh, he was one of the background characters or something, right?
I guess, yeah. Oh, this Canon Jarrus, whatever who that is. He did the voice of him in Star Wars Rebels. So, like I say, the guy's been doing like work, but definitely a lot more low key, because I think, like I said, he was being a dad. He didn't work too much. Does some guest star stuff. So I don't know. It's just a cool guy. Yeah, exactly, man. I'm excited to see him again. So yeah, that's the biggest thing that came out of that trailer for me.
Yeah, let's skip the other ones. Maybe we'll save Afraid. That's just another AI movie. We're gonna see a bunch of those. But that was leading into my Nick Cage news. Gladiator 2, Peter. Is this a movie we need?
I just watched the trailer today. And I mean, I'll watch it. It made me want to watch the first one again. It looked very, same concepts and everything, but they're trying to do bigger and better, which, right, that's what you gotta do. So I'll watch it. I don't know if I'm gonna go out to the movie theater. Like, this is a wait and see, and I honestly think that's what the box office is gonna reflect, is that not too many people are probably gonna go out and rush out to the movie theaters to watch it in November. I think this is a wait and watch at home,
I agree with you. It does have big name actors. I mean, it has my favorite space Mexican, Pedro Pascal.
Denzel.
And who? Oh, Denzel
Washington.
So that's the thing. Watching this trailer, okay, I don't remember the first Gladiator having a hip hop song or like a rock song for the trailer. I'd love to go back and find the original trailer, but this one had Kanye West and Jay-Z, and the song is Watch the Throne, and apparently the song does make sense because Gladiator 2 is about taking over the throne, whatnot. Continuation of the first one, but just seemed out of place, and it very much seemed like one of those let's get a sequel out because we're like capitalizing it, like Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 1 was good, but Mortal Kombat 2 is like, let's get a sequel out, and we'll just fill it with a bunch of rock music and some people that we were not in the first one, but they kind of look like them, and it'll eventually go on UPN.
Did they, in the original one, did they have any marketing or even songs in that movie that was out of place for the period?
Mortal Kombat?
No, for Gladiator.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't.
But people are making a
either.
big deal on the internet that this song makes it feel out of place. But you got to realize it's just a song for a trailer.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like, so that new Willow series, like I really liked it, but they had stuff that was more modern rock that wasn't, like obviously they don't have this in the Willow area. And people were like thrown off by that, which I was just like, no, I mean, why can't they have fun with it? Like, come on. Like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. And like I said, with this trailer, everything that pretty much that stood out to me was that they are trying to top everything the first one did in this arena. Like, they are just going so much larger. And then also, I thought the other part that was interesting was Denzel was playing basically like
Denzel?
Training. Yeah, in Training Day, though. He's like, my man. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, he's supposed to be in Rome, and like, he's like, come on, man. Like, hit me up. Like, I was like, that was odd. That part was odd. But it doesn't matter because I think the action is going to be phenomenal. So,
yeah, it seemed odd. But I wonder if this is like a bad publicity is good as still publicity kind of thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. I think this all falls in line with, I don't think people, like you said, you already stated that, like, I don't think people are requesting this. Like, I think this is kind of like something they shouldn't have done. And if anything, it should have been went straight to streaming services, but they probably paid way too much money for it. And they got to put it out in the movie theaters. And I just don't think it's going to do very well. I think it's going to do much better once it goes on to streaming. So,
well, let's transition that to what we got in news, because this is very much happening right now. Peter,
what's in the news, Ryan?
Everything you just said literally just happened, and it happened with Kevin Costner's movie.
Oh,
Kevin Costner's Horizon Chapter 2 yanked from its release schedule. Okay, Horizon 1 just came out a month ago, and then Horizon 2 was supposed to come out in August. If you read this article from Slash Film, the studios were basically saying, nah, we're going to put the first one on VOD so people can get immersed into the world. No, Horizon 1 bombed, and they're going to pull Horizon 2, and this is going to be a direct-to-streaming movie. And there's 4 parts to this, dude. He filmed 4 parts, and each of them are like 3 hours long.
This just cracks me up. So, I forgot to mention that we're going to talk about Waterworld today, which I'm really excited about.
Yes.
But this is ridiculous because I just feel like Kevin Costner, like, dude, he just does not care. That's where I think he's at with this, because literally I was reading trivia about Waterworld, and they cut the shit out of that movie because they initially, the director Kevin Reynolds wanted to have a 3-hour movie, and then like the producers and Kevin Costner were like, no, that's a bad idea, because Kevin Costner just did Wyatt Earp, was a 3-hour movie, and it bombed. And so now he's putting out Horizon Chapter 1 that's 3 hours long, and there's even a second one that's 3 hours long. Like, I just think he's like, nah, I'm just gonna do what I want. I got paid either way. Who cares? Like that's what I get from this news, and that the studio is just like, damn, why did we listen to Kevin?
You gotta wonder now if like Kevin Costner, because of his attitude, because okay, you saw some trivia about Waterworld. That director left Waterworld and Kevin Costner took over the project. And they were
Yeah,
like the
that's
best of
funny.
friends, dude, until Waterworld. And then they didn't talk for a long time until they did
Well,
the commentary.
well, so I read into that too, and apparently he did. So Kevin Reynolds really hasn't like done much. I looked at his filmography, and guess what the other movie was that he did?
Wasn't it Dances with Wolves?
Close. It was Robin Hood.
Oh,
Prince of
yeah.
yeah, with Kevin Costner, which apparently they had a falling out over that movie too because of Kevin Costner and like his opinions on how the movie should be done. So then they had a come to point where Kevin for Waterworld was like, dude, I need my man Kevin Reynolds and my producer, I think Charlie Gordon, and that's the only way I'll do it. And then they had another falling out between Kevin and Kevin. It just cracks me up. And now the fact that again there was stuff in there that that movie is gonna be 3 hours long, and yet Kevin Costner's now is like, you know what? I don't care. I think people like 3 hour long movies.
Newsflash, Kevin Costner. People do not like 3-hour movies.
Well, that's not true, Ryan. It is
Not
not
3-hour movies that are 4 parts.
and also like cowboy related. I think that's the issue here.
So funny story about this. My dad has been super stoked to watch this movie. And he loves Western, he loves cowboy movies. I mean, like that's his jam, you know. So him and my mom went to go see the movie, and they made a date night or date day. They went during the day, and they came back, and my mom goes, "That was too long." And I said, "Dad, what do you think?" And she, before he even said anything, she goes, "He fell asleep. He fell asleep in the movie." I was like, Kevin Costner, what are you doing? You can't just recreate Yellowstone
Yeah,
on
but
the yeah.
did he still say he liked it though?
No, he didn't like it. He said it was pretty lame.
See, he's trying to do this big, Western like epic, like even the first time I heard about this, I just felt like this is not the right time for this. This seems very out of place because it's not even like Yellowstone, right? I think he's trying to capitalize off of that, but Yellowstone was modern. Yes, they did some prequels and everything that I think were mildly successful, but like not this, not what he's doing.
Well, and the other thing, Kevin Costner is having a fallout with Tyler Sheridan in Yellowstone. So I feel like this is a big fuck you to Tyler Sheridan. And some studio gave Kevin Costner this green light to do it.
Well, it might be, but I think he had the last laugh, right? So
Who?
Tyler Sheridan.
Oh yeah, I think Tyler Sheridan totally had the last laugh.
Exactly, because it didn't work out for Kevin, so they followed the wrong person.
Oops.
I don't know. Apparently it seems like Kevin Costner is kind of hard to work with.
Well, we'll get into that when we talk about Waterworld too.
Right.
So yeah, Horizons Chapter 2 is not going into the movie theaters. Did anybody miss that? No. Speaking about a movie that's doing well, Inside Out 2 becomes Pixar's highest grossing movie of all time. Holy shit.
Makes sense.
That's cool. And the add-on comic book is about gynecology. Speaking, this news is quick. Shrek 5 is going to be announced with the original people. Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz. Getting that in 2026, I believe.
Okay. I don't know if it's necessary, but those kids' movies make money.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Not a kids' movie, but Watchmen Chapter 1 has an animated movie trailer. How many times are they going to milk this movie? Or this graphic novel?
Here's what I love about this is that you also had this in trailers. It's also in the news, and I clicked off the one from the trailers.
I know. I'd put it in there twice by purpose.
Uh, you just really want to talk about it.
I just want to talk about how much they're trying to milk The Watchmen. Like it looks exactly like the graphic novel, along with the TV series, and then along with the movie that came out.
So I'll be honest, I have not watched the trailer for this. And I did read the graphic novel and I watched the movie. Did not watch the TV show, which I thought the TV show was much different than all
It is.
this.
It is different. I'm
Okay.
just being.
But yeah, like, and this looks like this is recreating the graphic novel, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So they're
In
trying to
a what if style. So it looks like it's cell shaded like what if Marvel's what if.
oh, okay, so that type of animation. Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. But are they trying to stay like very true to the graphic novel, unlike Zack Snyder's The Watchmen?
Seems like it. But
Okay.
again, this is a chapter 1 out of a chapter 2 series.
I know. Here's the thing, man. Like, I'm very confused with, because this is DC basically, right?
Right.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know, because I forgot to mention this, but I just saw something that's coming to Amazon Prime. It's called Batman the Caped Crusader. Have you seen this?
No.
Yeah, so apparently there's some new like animated series coming to Amazon for Batman, which, like, you have all these big announcements from James Gunn about the DCEU and like stuff that they're doing. Yet now we got this Watchmen Chapter 1 thing. I saw this trailer for Batman the Caped Crusader, and they are not mentioned at all with the DCEU. Like, so what the hell is happening? Like, I just feel like this should have been like kind of documented somewhere. Like, oh yeah, like we got all this stuff. This stuff's gonna be connected, but we still got X, Y, and Z, all these things. I know they talked about the Batman, right? Matt Reeves is the Batman. They talked about the Joker movie, like they talked about some stuff, but like now there's you still have all these other animated movies that are coming out in series that aren't related. And they're just going out to whoever's buying them. Like, I'm just so confused on what is happening with the DC entertainment media for movie and television. Like,
It feels like they haven't course corrected anything. It feels like they're just doing the same thing over and over again.
Absolutely. Like it seems like they keep on like, okay, yeah, we got a guy that's gonna steer the ship, and like, but he's not gonna do everything. We're gonna have all these other side projects that he's not even aware of. Like, it's just weird. I don't know, man. So
I don't know, but this is on Max, and my brother was talking with me. He's like, dude, Netflix is getting boring. I was like, we have other streaming services, right? People aren't checking them, dude. They're not checking Max for this kind of stuff. At most Paramount. I mean, I stick to Peacock because I watch wrestling, but that's about it.
It's honestly, for me, it is I have my favorites, right, that I use, but then the kids, they have their own ones that I go to over and over, and really all it takes is one property.
Yep.
And that will do it. And I have to have that streaming service because of someone in the family has to have that one property. So that's all you need, and it's kind of funny, right? Because I think, didn't we talk about Paramount Plus is talking about, basically like combining with someone else, basically, because it's not doing that well.
Yes. Who was it?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I think this is part of it. I think even Max kind of had the same thing, because all that Warner Brothers stuff used to be exclusive to Max or HBO, whatever, and now all that DC shit, like I said, it's going everywhere, man.
All over the place.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Netflix. Like they are so desperate to make a buck that they shelled out like everything that they were trying to accomplish with like having an exclusive partner. It's crazy. So
Well, you know what's happening? It's AI, dude.
it's all AI's fault.
It's all AI, and you know who's afraid of AI?
I mean, probably no one that I know.
Are you sure?
It's surprising, but also not surprising, this news.
Nicolas Cage reveals he's terrified of AI.
Yeah. Again, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, come on. You're a thespian. Come on.
Maybe that's why he is, because, okay, so I think this was Cage spoke about an upcoming digital scan he was scheduled for Spider-Man Noir, and how AI is really just kind of taking over. And look, what did he say? They're just going to steal my body and do whatever they want via digital AI. They have to put me in a computer and match my eye color and change. I don't know. God, I hope not AI. I'm terrified of that. I've been very vocal about it. Makes me wonder, where will the truth of these artists end up? Just you could thank Nicolas Cage for reading this. It's going to be replaced. Is it going to be transmorga? What's that way? Transmogrified? Where's the heartbeat going to be? So basically, Nick Cage is afraid of losing his job to AI, which, hey, Nick, you don't need to be, because we know who you truly are. AI cannot replace that.
Absolutely cannot replace Nicolas Cage. And I understand, like, he's had this already, right? With the Flash movie, right? They pretty much like, yeah, I came in and did a couple stuff, but what was on the screen? I didn't do that. Like, so he's kind of had this experience. Now he's doing more, but at the same time, like, this allows him to kind of live on for a lot longer. Some other just Nicolas Cage news, because I know you've talked about how he was like, nah, I think I got one or two more pictures in me, right? I'm done. I've done everything. Last thing I just heard was that he's like, yeah, I'm open to going back to the popcorn movies. So, like, this guy's all over the place. He's not done. He's just, I don't know. He's just living it up.
If Nicolas Cage, the thespian, shows up to Fan Expo 2025 and charges $300 to meet him and get his autograph, would you do it, Peter?
Yes. So I was thinking about that, and maybe that should have been the quick question. Because so I had there's people that, and my wife just kept on asking, like, you don't want to go meet him? Like, no, I'm not gonna pay money. Like, no. And like all these people, I'm just like, nah. And I started thinking, like, all right, who would I actually do that for? And Nicolas Cage was the first one that popped in my head. So absolutely, I would go do that. Quick story that just so Randy Quaid, he made it to Fan Expo in Denver.
No,
Dude, it was okay. I almost paid money to go see him because I felt so bad.
oh,
Dude, we went over to the celebrity area and he is sitting at his booth. There's not a single person around him. And he's kind of sitting like somewhere like how I'm sitting right now. If you're on YouTube, and he's just sitting there in his chair behind his booth, just like looking as sad as can be. And I just wanted to go over and be like, I'll give you some money, like, come on, man. Like, maybe can we just hang out? Like, I'll just hang out here with you. Like, literally, dude, it was so sad. And it was pretty cool. Like, they played they screened Independence Day there, and he came and introduced it, like, kind of opened it up for the fans, and it is like iconic line, like, up yours, right before he dies and everything. It was pretty exciting, but talk about, dude, just someone that has lost all his celebrity-ness, you know? It
Wow.
was very sad. And again, that's why I thought about that question is like, who would I go to? Like, even though like I'm sure this guy's nuts, you know, and I probably have some really good and interesting conversations with him. But I don't like when I just have to come and give you money to do that interaction. You know, if he, like, I wish he just kind of came out and like just stood outside his box and just kind of, hey, try to build some fandom, you know, talk
Yeah.
to people or something. Like, dude, you're sitting there just looking grumpy. And then next day, it looked like he was on his computer just doing work. Right? No one was visiting him. Oh man. I
Oh.
I don't know if Fan Expo pays them or if he was just hoping to make some money, some quick cash there, but I felt bad for the guy. So
Well, that's sad to see. I mean, but he did ruin his career. Did you ever see his what did he do on Twitter? Like he released a sex video with him and his wife was wearing some sort of like political figures mask, and he was just it was
yes.
nonsense.
I didn't see it, but I heard about it. And I know how he said the government sent ninjas after him, and like, dude, the guy is just he was
You,
off his rocker, which
you should have pulled up your phone with that scene, just paused to be like, "Can you sign my phone, please? I'll give you money." Obviously, nobody is.
yeah. I just you know what I think has happened here is that I think people are afraid of him. You know, 'cause
Dude,
that was
it's true. It could be very true.
like, what if I go up to him and be like, dude, what happened that year? You know, with all that shit. You know, like what is going on? Like, you know, is he just gonna attack me? You know? Oh man,
Randy Quaid attacks Gambit at Fan Expo.
yeah. But
You could have Danny film it.
it was sad, dude. Like, dude, I seen like the you know Power Rangers, dude. Those people had more people coming up to them than Randy Quaid. It's just it was sad, man. It was sad.
That's sad to hear.
Yeah.
Just because, wait, his brothers. What do you think Dennis thinks about? Do you think Dennis is like, oh, Randy, stop calling me?
Dude, I'm curious, man. Do you think they even stay in contact? I have no idea. Like, uh, you know, yeah, if they do, I'm sure it was like, dude, you need to get help, and then I'm not talking to you till you get some help. And now that he's kind of mellowed out, maybe he is talking to him. So I don't know, man. But it's like I said, kind of sad. But you know what it did make me want to do? Watch Independence Day. So
hey,
I
Randy, what do you think about your nephew and the boys? Oh, he's making money. Never mind. Oh, oof.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why Jack Quaid wasn't there, because the rest of the boys were there. Could you imagine? He's like, "Oh, my Uncle Randy's around the corner. Don't need to be around."
there was only one, or I guess two people. No, three people from the boys. I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big of like that would have been pretty sweet if a lot of the boys members, dude, Carl Urban made it there.
Mhm.
Here's you know, you talk about meeting some of these people, like there are some times like looking back that like, damn it, like Carl Urban has been there before and I missed it. Like even just seeing his panel, like a Q&A with him would have been fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
So all right, let's move on, Ryan.
Oh,
Let's
get into it.
Yeah, really
We don't have
exciting part.
Is there a theme song for that?
Oh, absolutely. Give me a minute. Gotta get some stuff here.
Oh, you got some stuff prepared for us?
Well, you said the sound, dude. Like, okay, we're talking about Waterworld here, guys. This is one of my dude. 1995. This came out, and I went to I saw this with my dad, and loved it. So let me just play this theme song. We can just talk over this. Let's see. Might need to skip ahead right soon, but dude, this was at the time, right? Some little trivia on this movie. Like one of the biggest budgeted movies for the time in 1995 until Titanic came around, like in 97. So
a year later.
yeah, okay. 2 years.
Waterworld's the most expensive movie.
Ah, man, where's the main part? It's kind of cool though. But
so Peter, as you're playing this, you watched Waterworld as a kid. I did not. I watched Waterworld for the first time last week. My only point of reference from this movie was my sister was in high school band, and the marching band was like number 2 in the state. And when they went to the finals, the entire band just dressed up like Waterworld. And I didn't understand, because I was used to my Waterworld over here up in the corner. I didn't understand why they were dressed like a bunch of homeless people. I thought the marching band had to have a uniform and they had to like march around and whatnot. But they did the theme song to Waterworld dressed up as Waterworld characters. And
can you hum it? Like, this is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, it's hard to find. It kind of just sounds like Avatar.
It does, but here's the thing, dude. I was watching this movie. I'll admit, it took me like 3 days to finish this. But that's not because I didn't like it. It's because I have kids, and it is difficult to watch it. But dude, I found myself humming the song from this over and over and over again. But then the strange thing is that as soon as like right now, I literally can't think about it, even though I was just humming it like an hour ago. So I don't know what that tells you about it. It's really fun, but at the same time, very easily forgettable.
So I think you just pinpointed that movie for me.
Kind of.
In this time where I watched the movie, I said, yeah, I watched Waterworld, and everybody had the same reaction. Oh, that was like the biggest flop of all time, wasn't it? Well, at the time. But that was like the most expensive movie at the time. At that time. And I was like, yeah. No, you guys are all correct. I didn't...
Yeah. Maybe it's...
So, let me ask you, when you were younger, did you get the hype behind this?
Yeah.
You loved it. Okay.
Yeah, dude. So, okay. This is how much I love this movie. Because I saw this movie, and then I went home in 1995. How old am I? I'm like, I'm 10. And I go home, and I'm a big Lego fan, and I built his boat out of Legos, dude. That's how much I love this movie. And I played with that boat for a very long time. Okay, I just remembered the thing. Yeah, something like that. It's this stuff. It gets better though.
Now you put me in the scenes in the movie where he's just jumping around his boat,
Exactly,
cranking on
dude.
his sails and releasing things and shooting miniguns and slicing things with his knife and
do. Yeah. All right, that's enough music, but I love it. I love it, Ryan. So, yes, for a kid, I think this kind of goes with like all of the kind of stuff from the 90s like that we love, man. Like if it was just action packed and just all kinds of like stuff going around, and dude, I was just so entertained by this, and I still am as an adult. I had more questions this time around. But dude, still thoroughly enjoyed it. Love the music. I love everything about it, and I don't understand why there's so much hate behind it. And it has made a profit now.
It has made a profit now, yes.
Yes.
At the time, it was the biggest flop of all time, but at that time,
Mhm.
it's no longer that.
Mhm.
My thing about I'll let me speak my truth. When I was younger, I didn't like Kevin Costner. I didn't like Kevin Costner because I was forced to watch Dancing with Wolves, and since I was forced to watch it, I hated every moment of that movie.
Okay, that makes sense. I
And
get
then
it.
The Bodyguard came out, and I was like, "Why do I care about Whitney Houston?" So I didn't
Uh-huh.
like Kevin Costner then. And then, I didn't get to enjoy other movies like Bull Durham and Waterworld, Wyatt Earp. And then I didn't even want to watch Robin Hood. I thought that movie was gonna suck because I was like, nope, Kevin Costner. So for the longest time, I had this thing against Kevin Costner. And then I think it was Draft Day is when I was like, oh shit, Kevin Costner is a good actor. And then I watched all kinds of Kevin Costner movies, and I'm like, what did I miss out on? But I'll tell you this, just watching Waterworld, and I gotta say this about Brittany. She has she has helped me watch movies I wouldn't typically rewatch again. So I'm glad I get to sit back and we watch these like weird old movies. And I saw Waterworld pull up, and I was like, have you seen this? She goes, yeah, a long time ago. I was like, I've never seen it. She goes, what? You've never seen this? I said, yeah, it's time. I gotta watch Waterworld.
This
And
is your first viewing?
this is my first time ever watching Waterworld. Yeah.
Holy shit. All right. Well, for first time viewer, what did you think?
Ah, I put myself in that position of movies in 1995 and now, and I get why like this was so hyped up. Um, I liked it. I liked it because I knew like during that time of those movies, this was gonna compete with like be up there with Jurassic Park and all these epic like mid 90s movies. I think it fell short, but I like that it was what it was. It reminded me of Mad Max. It reminded me of it was like Mad Max in water, basically.
Mhm. Exactly. Yep.
Um, it just had this insane budget, but you could tell like they didn't have the technology to use it properly because there was not a lot of CGI. So they built these giant sets of water, and they use a lot of water. And my god, they use giant sets, dude. Maybe that's what it was about. I was just like, dude, these studios had to waste so much money. And then Dennis Hopper, dude, the moment he came on screen, he absolutely reminded me of Donald Trump. I was like, I had to look up if Dennis Hopper was alive, and he's not. If they were to ever make a movie about Donald Trump now, Dennis Hopper's the guy to do it. And then I went down the rabbit hole of Waterworld, and a little couple facts about this. You know who is also in Waterworld?
No.
What?
I mean, I don't. What do you mean? Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner, Dennis Hopper. Do you know a
Yeah.
little name Tina Majorino?
She the girl?
The little girl, right?
Yeah.
What other movie was she in?
Oh, dude. I know. I remember looking at her as like, man, that face is very. Oh, Napoleon Dynamite.
She's Deb in Napoleon Dynamite, dude.
Yep. Yep.
There she is, right there. So,
I knew
she
I
was,
recognized her.
and then the older lady. She's not older. Janine Triplehorn.
Yeah.
Don't know who she is. You could tell they were like trying to find some like this is like their Nicole Kidman of Waterworld, and she just wasn't it. She was good. She was good, but she wasn't it. Now the other name that was in there, Peter. He's in a band. Let me make sure this is his second movie or his first movie. Oh
Jack
no,
Black.
it's Jack Black. Yeah, Jack Black was in here.
Yes.
It's his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth movie, only after Demolition Man, in Neverending Story 3. But
He's in Demolition Man.
he's apparently a wasteland scrap.
Wow. Okay, talk about a movie I need to watch again. Yeah, it's interesting seeing some of these people pop up in this movie. I mean, again, you got to remember this is 1995. But here's the thing: I didn't think like all these people that you listed off, dude. I thought everyone did a fine job acting in it. Like I don't know.
No, I think they did too. I mean, I'm not saying the acting was bad in this. Like, if anything, like Kevin Costner was just playing Kevin Costner after what we were talking about. Just this grumpy old guy who has his like only means of living, which is his boat, and nobody could touch his shit, and he doesn't want anybody around him. So this is a perfect movie for Kevin Costner.
Yeah, but so, I'm trying to find it. Like, so this movie was up for all kinds like Razzies at the time. And one of those was like the worst like supporting actor for Dennis Hopper, which I thought was totally unwarranted.
Oh, Dennis Hopper was great. He was smoking cigarettes. He lost his eye. He was throwing people overboard, lighting them on fire. He had a crew of people just on jet skis. He had this giant oil rig with this guy down in the oil rig container measuring how much oil is left. Oh, dude, when they blew that up, that was the funniest because like what was it? The little girl was like, he's gonna do it. He drops what was it? He dropped a flare down there.
A flare.
And
Yeah.
you just hear the guy, he goes, "Oh, thank God." And the whole thing blows up. You can tell that dude was sick of Dennis Hopper's shit.
Well, he what does he go? He goes like, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah.
What the crap, dude? I can't find the stupid things for it. But like, dude, so this movie like got Razzies for like worst movie, worst director, like all this stuff, man. And I really don't think that was warranted. Like, I mean, I get the part of like, okay, they spent way too much money on this movie, but I look at it, and that's because they did this at sea. There was some bad research for like the locations and stuff, and like what it would take, and it extended the shoot. Like all this shit happened on Jaws as well, and this is the reason why it just got ballooned out of proportion. And yes, there's a lot of bad publicity with the whole like Kevin and Kevin arguments and shit like that. But dude, I just thought this was still a phenomenal movie, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I will watch it many years to come from now, I'm sure. Like, this is just something that like randomly I probably will get in the mood for, and I want to watch. And the fact that you brought it up, I was like, hell yes, I want to talk about this so badly. Some of the things I wrote down some things here, and maybe you can help me with it. Okay. So what year did this take place?
Did they ever say?
I don't know.
I don't think they ever did. Oh,
yeah.
There we go. Wikipedia has it right here. It's an odd year. 2500.
2500. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. I mean, IMDb, like the thing, it just says in a future where the polar ice caps melt. Like the part that I was like, I'm very confused on when this takes place, because basically all these people have forgotten what land is, like, or what it like, trees and birds and all this shit. Like, they don't know. And I thought that was just so interesting. It's like, wait, what? How did all these people forget this? And there's basically only one little girl that has been on dry land.
Okay, so think about like where we're at now. We're in the year 2024, 2500. And that was the other thing I was confused about. They had cigarettes.
Yeah.
They had vehicles. They had jet skis. They had crude oil. And they had access to booze. They were drinking liquor. Like, how are they making the liquor?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think they really were. I think some people were like on that floating ship prop thing, which By the way, I think yes, that did take a ton of money,
Mhm.
and I believe it all got destroyed in weather. um, Another thing that they had to do that I thought was really funny that again ballooned probably this budget is that they had to extend the ramp for the airport in Hawaii, I guess, or Honolulu, wherever they were taking off from.
Oh yeah,
They had to add a quarter mile to it because it wasn't big enough for the planes that were coming to go there. So all this shit that again, I don't think they thought about, and there's like, no, this is the spot where we want to film because we want to be doing it on the ocean. And they're like, well, this airway is not big enough. Fuck it. Let's extend it for them.
Oh my gosh, that's well.
Cracks me up.
This was interesting about Wikipedia right here. Cast and director's reception. Kevin Costner said he's very fond of the film. It stands up as a really exotic, cool movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
it was flawed for sure, but
Yeah.
overall, it was very inventive, a cool movie. It was very robust.
Mhm.
Dennis Hopper also enjoyed it, saying, I thought Waterworld got a bad name for itself in the United States, but did really well in Europe and Asia. I think the studio sort of shot themselves in the foot by announcing it was so over budget, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a failure. All this came out before we released it in the States, but I enjoyed it. In retrospect, director Kevin Reynolds said, my own personal take on the picture is that I don't think it's any better, any worse than most summer blockbusters. It's somewhere in the middle. Exactly. That's the words out of my mouth when you ask me like how I watch it. It fit right in there, you know? It fit. It wasn't like the best one, it wasn't the worst one. It just fit in the summer blockbuster realm. Like it wasn't like but it was good enough for you to rewatch it and other people to be like, "Oh yeah, Waterworld? Yeah, Waterworld. We watched it." And then
Yeah.
I think yeah, it certainly got its faults. But I think, you know, on another level, I think it works quite well compared to some of the other big films. But by the end, people they wanted it to be a disaster. So the studios did kind of set it up. You did mention their absurd budget. And yeah, I mean, a lot of it set up for failure.
Yeah.
Was it a good movie? Yeah, it was a pretty good movie. I mean, knowing what we know now about how they made movies back then and what they were limited to, I think they did pretty well with it, dude.
Yeah. Like the back to kind of what you're saying, I think this kind of goes in line with like, maybe some of these plot holes or it was cut out of the film, for the release. Um I took it all these things that they had were found. These are just remnants of what they had. They're not really making anything new. That's what I took it as. And that they are slowly just they're gonna be gone. But the way that the smokers portrayed everything, just let me just throw all these cigarettes everywhere. Like it did feel like this is limitless.
My favorite
For
line
them.
was like when they were running low on oil, Dennis Hopper goes, "All right, hold back on the tractor pulls." Where did they have room to do tractor pulls?
Dude, that was a big ass tanker ship that they're on. What I was looking through the IMDb page, and like one of the stuff, like things they say was like the spoof is that like, hey, like that crude oil they had there, you gotta refine that to make it work in boats and jet skis and all these engines that they were talking about. Like they didn't talk about any of that shit. Like they made it seem like they're very like kind of dumb, like they really just don't know much about these things, and they just kind of know like, all right, like you put this in here and it works, right? Like
What's weird is they were able to accomplish so much, but they were dumb about growing plants.
yeah,
Like
you would
even
think a lot more people would be growing shit. Yeah, you're
yeah,
right. You're
like
right.
what was one of the subplots like the crazy inventor guy like accidentally knocked his hot air balloon and was like, "Oh no, it's not ready." And this contraption just like blew with this balloon and he was like circling around saving the girl and the daughter. Wasn't that happening?
Yeah, that was they're trying to escape that big old massive like all these ship things connected. Like they had like this metal island basically, which was really cool, by the way. And yeah, I thought that was funny too. You got this guy that's kind of almost a scientist, and then he's like, "Oh man, I didn't mean to flip that switch, and I didn't really think of a way to keep my aircraft at bay instead of just going off without my permission." like it was one of those silly things. Like, seriously, man, you didn't figure out like, all right, add more weight to it to keep it grounded. Like, there was really, yes, there was some dumb things. And speaking of that, by the way, is that all right? The main plot of this is that they're finding this girl, uh, Enola, right? Enola, which you spell that backwards. What does it spell?
Anal?
No, alone.
Oh,
close, Ryan. Alone, which I thought, oh, that's clever. And she has a tattoo on her back that basically is supposed to be like, hey, this points to dry land, or at least gives you the directions there. At the very end of this movie, where again the flying ship pops back up, and he's the scientist man is pulling the girl, and he's like, oh, north is south and south is north. It's like, dude, you had to swap the directions, and that's how you figured out where dry land was. Like, it was one of the stupidest things that I saw or I heard, and I'm sure as a kid, like it just totally went over my head. I'm like, I don't care. But now as an adult, I was like, are you kidding me? That's all he had to do. Like, that's like the simplest like cipher ever. Is like, hey, why don't I just reverse this? Like, that's the first thing that you do.
yeah.
So, that cracks me up. Another question I had about this, now that we figured out the time frame, was how come, they know of mutants, and Kevin Costner is a mutant that can, he's a mariner, he can swim underwater and everything, breathe water.
Yeah.
Where's the rest? How come there's no other mutants in this movie? Like, that kind of pissed me off a little bit after I started thinking about it. I mean, it's really cool that he's so different and that he stands out, but like, are we really living in a world where like you're just saying this one individual has adapted that much to be able to do this, and yet everyone knows about it and they're aware of it, but he's the only one that we see throughout the whole movie? Like, I really felt like they that was a missed opportunity to at least have some other mutations that maybe didn't work out as well,
Okay, I want to ask you a question. How did that little girl get a tattoo on her back? And she's the only one with the tattoo.
Oh, the parents. Yeah, the parents were not good parents. They like you
Okay.
kind of get this. And here's the thing. This movie is severely cut down, and like it is I guess what Kevin Reynolds wanted to do was like a 3-hour movie, which again, going back to what I talked about previously, is like Kevin Costner learned his lesson and said, hey, they don't want 3-hour movies. We got to cut this down. And that's, I think, that was part of the things that drew like, to their separation. I think just ongoing fighting throughout the shoot and all that. But they cut this way down, and I think you kind of see that. But apparently they made some other releases of this, like especially on TV, like formats where like there's like 40 extra minutes of film.
Really?
And I was kind of just looking through the alternate versions of it, dude. And so many of them seem like, no, that's a dumb scene. I'm glad they took it out. Like, no, that's dumb. All this shit is dumb. Like, you don't need this. Like, if you're not smart enough to read between the lines and figure out some of this shit on your own, like, I don't know if you deserve, I think you deserve not knowing. Like, just accept it. Like, one of the things that they talked about was just, like, oh, how did the mariner get a jet ski to to go and ride to like that ship, you know, where the smokers were. Like, I was like, well, I saw it there just with the new boat that the new, you know, all the people that survived the big tack at the massive metal island, right? And I took that. I was like, okay, well, there was a lot of extra jet skis that were lying around because they killed a lot of people. They just had one. Why is this a big deal? Like, like some of these things that people are saying plot holes. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you don't think like it's not plausible that there was just a jet ski that they just got when they were after all that you know uh violence happened, you know, all these people, smokers and non-smokers, died from. Like, there's a lot of just extra things just floating around. One of those could be a jet ski. Like,
Yeah, there was a lot of waste around. So like, if that was a plot hole to some people, then they're not paying attention. And you corrected me on the tattoo thing, but I don't think we ever saw the parents. So it just has to be kind of assumed.
Okay, back to why I was getting into that. So at the very end of the movie, which, by the way, listeners, this is from 1995. We're gonna spoil the shit of it out of this,
Yeah, it's
and
like 30 years
I mean,
old.
yeah, and
40.
spoiler, yeah, spoiler alert. They get to dry land, and what you see there, and again, maybe again, this is kind of implied, and it was cut from the film, was that the skeletons there on dry land, right? You remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. That's her parents. And he also saw the symbols on pieces of paper all in their area. And it even looks like there's like tattoo stuff that it looks like they tattooed this kid. And then I mean, how she got out to sea again, I don't know. That, I mean, that's, you can make all kinds of assumptions for that. But is it
She had a
really
jet ski.
necessary? Yeah, sure. But they tattooed the baby. That's what I got from it, and sent her on her way. Or you know, there's probably other things where just basically that piece of paper got out and someone tattooed on her. Like, there's just so many things. But also, like, the kid also had new trees, saw birds, could draw all these things, which I took as, oh yeah, as a child, she was there. Something must have happened at some point, which, you know, could they have added that to the story? Sure. But for me, it was not necessary.
Nah.
I got it that, like, okay, she got tattooed at this point for one reason or another, and also got sent out to sea, and the parents died there for one reason or another. Again, it seemed a little bit like they're like hugging each other, so they just died in their sleep. But you know, maybe they died. They had some critical
Very
disease.
Star Wars-esque.
Yeah, they had some disease and they just had to send them out. I don't know. So call that plot hole. Is it that bad? Like, you know, and I hate plot holes, but for me, I thought this movie, you know, any holes that I might have had got all sewn up. I was fine with this movie. So
Peter's holes were filled while watching
yes.
Waterworld. Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Dryland. When he took her under the sea to show her the dry land, what city was it?
Denver.
It was Denver, Colorado. So, man, I would like to see an aerial view of Earth afterwards. But which is strange because the actual dry land was Hawaii.
No.
Was that not?
So
well,
no.
it was shot in Hawaii.
Yes.
Like, that's Jurassic Park, right?
Apparently there was another cut scene, which, you know, could they have left this? What they could have. But apparently there's like at the end, you know, right there, Kevin Costner's, you know, sailing away again, and the chick and the girl are like on the top of like a hill, right?
Yeah.
Apparently there was like a cut scene where, like, they removed some foliage from a placard that says Everest. They're at Everest. So again, some of these things is just like, do you really have to spell this out for everybody? Like,
You know
come
why?
on.
Because, dude,
People are dumb.
People are dumb. I was trying to say it in the nicest way possible. It is just because I lost my train of thought. I was you took the words out of my mouth. People are
I
dumb,
don't know.
and they
There's
can no
times,
longer have movie magic. That's what
yeah.
it is. Movie magic. Like, yeah.
And I know people tell me like this as like for me as well that sometimes I do this, but like I I I disagree because the times when I had these issues is when they're going against their rules that they created for their movie, like their world that they created. Like I never felt like they ever went against the rules in this movie. So
No,
like that's how I see it.
they either didn't explain it or just was like, fuck it. Like the whole alcohol thing. They had bottles of Jim Beam in the year 2500.
Sure. I mean, if you found a stash, man, right? It could go.
I
It'll
bet
last
that was
forever.
good.
Oh, I bet. I bet. I'm probably more concerned about like how do those cigarettes make it? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's also really just strange. Is like, man, how did I don't know how people are surviving without knowing how to, like obviously there is some bit of knowledge to like how to plant, but how come they weren't better at it? I don't know. They weren't very good at growing things.
Idiocracy. They were using Bando.
They're probably just pissing on everything.
Well, that's how the movie started. He was just pissing in a cup and he put it in his little filter system and just re-drank it.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And he had a lemon tree. Obviously, like, again, they knew about some of this, but all right. I now I get it. I'm being dumb. We're being dumb, Ryan. Like all these things went away, right? Like everything there's where trees and plants are all underwater. Like they don't have seeds and shit. So yeah, this is very scarce. Dude, that's the fact that he could buy a tomato plant, that's pretty impressive. I don't know
That's
how they did
impressive.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it back now.
What was the other one? I know. I think we covered all the weirdness. Oh, there wasn't a lot of sea creatures in this movie. For a movie called Waterworld, like the only sea creature that I recognized was when he dove under to battle that giant CGI blob and then throw up a bunch of blubber on the boat and then cook it. But you
Yeah,
didn't
it was
see
kind of it was like a crocodile type
yeah,
deal.
you didn't see
Giant
a lot of fish
crocodile.
or anything, dude. You didn't see any like sea creatures or attacking or anything. It was like it wasn't there. It was weird. That was missing. Maybe they blew
Yeah.
their budget on the oil tanker.
Wasn't there a point too, like during when they went down to like the Denver, like they showed like shark fins going across the boat with the girl. That was the only other time, but I was a little bit confused on if that was actually real sharks or if they were like smokers. So I don't really know on that one. I do want to the ending of this movie. It's one of the things that stood out to me, like even like from a kid and remembering is, and they did this a couple times, and I thought it was kind of funny now that rewatching it. But so the girl gets captured right by the smokers.
Mhm.
Kevin Costner is like, I will go and I will bring her back if she's still alive, right? He's like, I will go find the smokers and I will bring her back. Um, and so she's doing all this like voiceover saying like basically like, like, man, he's so great and everything and all these cool things about him, like he can see like 20 miles away and all this bullshit, right? But they're like she's doing the overlay while like you're watching Kevin Costner kind of walk through the ship and kill guys. But he this is why I thought that was really cool, but at the same time it's like really corny. It's kind of dumb at the same time because the very first off, right, he climbs up the big ass tanker, he gets to the very top, he sees like, oh, the guy's doing an announcement, which Dennis Hopper's doing this announcement about like, rallying the troops and everything so that they can start rowing this big ass ship to dry land. um how did that microphone work and speakers? But that was one of those weird things that they probably should have skipped over that. So he's up top, right? And then like smokers show up on jet skis, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta take these guys out." He jumps all the way back down in the water and kills those guys. And then he takes this jet ski and goes back through and kills the guys. And then he's just kind of he's sneaking around this ship all over the place, just everywhere. And he gets back up to the very top just to like interact with Dennis Hopper and to jump right back down to the bottom of like the ship to go just swinging around, just doing all this kinds of crazy stunt shit. And I don't, it just cracked me up that in and out, in and out, in and out of this ship all the time, nonstop, with voiceover work from the girl, and then just random, him killing random people, and then explosions and a weird like action scene where he's flying down some chains and they break and he swings across the ship, like very, very odd stuff, but also at the same time very exciting and cool.
Well, that's what made this movie what it was. Is
It
the
it's
random
true.
shit like that.
It is
I
true. Which
I
I
gotta
can't.
laugh because this reminds me of my dad because my dad has things set up in a way where only he knows how they work.
Mm-hmm.
Like to unlock something, he's the only one who knows what key, where it's at, what way to turn it, and it works every single time. But if you didn't know those instructions, you would never get it. That was Kevin Costner's boat. That was a mariner's boat. He knew everything about it. And if someone touched his shit and they got it working, he would accuse them of breaking it. And he's like, "Don't touch my stuff." And my favorite thing about him is he was so unapologetic about anything. He literally grabbed that little girl and tossed her in the water. And
Yeah.
Helen was like, "She doesn't know how to swim." And he was like, "Okay, see
Yeah.
ya."
Yeah. How do you
And
not
then
know
he
how to
threw her in the
swim?
water. She like completely undressed, and she's like, "I'm ready for this." And he's like, "Nope, you're going in the water too. See ya."
I you know I really liked those parts. I thought they did a decent job. Again, it's kind of cut pretty quickly, but I thought they did a good enough job where, like, okay, these people, he's not a friendly guy. He's very set in his ways, and he doesn't really want to have these women here. And he's a no nonsense guy, and I like that. But then it kind of they slowly kind of grew on each other, and they needed each other. And I love the very end where he's like Dennis Hopper's like, "Why are you coming after this girl? Like, who cares?" He's like, "That's my friend." Like, that part right there got me a little choked up. I was like, yes,
Yep.
that is like, you don't need another reason. Like, that
Nope.
was just, she's my friend.
She's my friend.
So
That's it.
loved
And
it.
that was just enough for him to like do good for her, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Teach her how to swim, stuff like that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Like,
was
you created that bond over some time after like doing a lot of like, cranky shit. Like, dude, I just cannot say enough, man. I really love this movie.
I'm glad you do, and I'm glad I watched it for the first time and was able to appreciate its greatness even after its long years of people just saying box office bomb, over budget, worst movie, blah blah blah. It didn't live up to the hype. Watch this movie anyway. It's worth it.
Uh,
It's worth every minute of it.
Absolutely. 100%. Like, it is none of those things. I mean, well, okay, yes. It blew its budget. It was severely over budget, but it made its money back eventually. And that this is just a great movie to watch on a lazy Sunday afternoon or whatever. And uh it'll keep you entertained, man. Like, they did a great job. And I think you described it perfectly, that this is like Mad Max on water. It is exactly that. And it's awesome.
It is awesome. Peter, do you want to do some recommendations?
I only got one. Waterworld.
let's leave this episode at that one. I'm
All right.
recommending Waterworld as well in all forms. Watch it on TV, watch it on streaming. Get stars for the month so you can watch it. That's how we watched
Exactly.
it.
That's
So,
how I did it. Yeah. So, Ryan, it's been fun. Glad you watched Waterworld.
thanks. I'm gonna try and watch
And-
another mid '90s shitty movie.
Ooh, let me know what it is. Maybe I'll find it and I'll watch it as well. This is fun.
Uh,
I like doing this shit. So,
Me too.
until next episode, pew pew out. Oh, hero.
Be sure to visit bmoviesbeyond.com.
Do it. Do it now. I gotta feed churro.
All right.